Okay, I got home hella late tonight, so I tweeted out asking for some video ideas from you guys. If you aren't following me, check me out on Twitter at AxelBeats. I might do this in the future for some more ideas. Could be a fun way to get your ideas on the channel. But today, I chose one suggested by John at Equinox Phoenix. So, thank you so much for suggesting the video. We're going to be talking about the 5 characters I want to see return in Yashahime the most from Inuyasha. If you guys enjoy this video, remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And of course, as I mentioned, you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at AxelBeats, or support me through Patreon in the description down below. With that all being said, let's talk about the 5 characters I want to see returning the most. So firstly, some ground rules. I will not be talking about any of the primary characters from the last series. This includes Inuyasha, Kagome, Sango, Miroku, Shippo, Kirara, Koga, anyone like that. That's not a fun list to make. It's very cliche, very boring. I'm not doing it. So, we're going to be talking about more minor characters as well. We might get a little bit close to main cast, but no one who's considered a primary character in the series. So with that being said, let's talk about my number 5 spot, which will be Kikio. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. I just wanted to see people get upset in the comments. Number 5 is actually going to be going to the softest boy among all Hanyo, Jinenji. When it comes to iconic minor characters in Inuyasha, I think it's pretty easy to jump to Jinenji. He was this big other Hanyo that we saw that really gave us a different look on what it was like to be a Hanyo in that world. So what would I want to see from him in Yashahime? Well, his whole character arc in the main story saw him developing into his own character, really learning to stand up for himself and not relying on his mother's support so much. In Yashahime, step 1 would be kill the mother. She is the same age, if not older than Kaede, doesn't have plot armor, get her out of here. On top of that, this would allow us to see a different side of Jinenji, someone who has been forced to kind of move on and learn to stand on his own 2 feet. Now, I'm not saying I want him to be some kind of battle-hardened warrior, but maybe someone who the village looks up to as a guardian or protector after having abused him so much in the past, like a sort of redeemed hero. Or it could be something as simple as someone who's making medicine or being a doctor, something which I would imagine he's pretty interested in. Regardless, I think it's pretty universal that people would love to see Jinenji in some small way returning in Yashahime. Next up, in number 4, we have Sashomaru's mother. I don't think there's a single character in the entire franchise who's as loved in contrast to how little they were on screen. Now specifically, I would love to see her interacting with either Towa or Setsuna. If I had to choose, maybe Setsuna would be a little bit better. Sashomaru's mother was always hella cold and petty, while still being very loving and supportive in her own way. Even if she would put you through a bit of a trial, it would be to better yourself or to have you grow in some way. What's the old saying? Teach a man to fish, you'll feed him for a day. Kill a man's future wife, you'll teach him how to love. Something like that. Anyways, it would be really interesting to see her giving her granddaughters some advice on maybe how to become better or stronger, or in how to defeat her son, who she feels has gone off the path that she wanted for him, or off the path that he wanted himself. All of which, very interesting options. In number 3, a character I have always adored, and who is almost a mainline character, but enough for me to be okay with him on this list. That is Totosai. As Miyoga's counterpart and one of Toga's right-hand men, Totosai has always been a great supporting character for the series. He was funny, supportive, and an enabler towards new techniques and equipment, so I would love to see a scene where Moroha's Kurikaramaru needs an upgrade, and she needs to go to Totosai to help her either catch up to her cousins, or just grow in general. I think from a storytelling perspective, Moroha will eventually start falling further and further behind her cousins as they're Hanyos and she's only a quarter demon. And don't get me wrong, I think she should be weaker than her cousins. I mean, like I said, the demon percentage is pretty off. However, through the use of equipment or weapons, she can definitely bridge that gap. Look at Inuyasha and Sashomaru. The difference in power is huge, but with the addition of Tessaiga, that was pretty much minimalized for a lot of the show. The runner-up is going to be a bit of a cheat, but I'm going to choose a movie character in Minomaru. Yes, I know he's not canon, yada yada, but I always really loved the perspective of Toga's old enemies. There's a couple that we saw throughout the show, being like Ryukotse, the Panther King, Minomaru, and Kirinmaru, and I always loved learning about them. And we do get to see Kirinmaru a little bit, so we're going to learn some of his backstory as well, which I'm sure will intertwine with Toga's. But I would love to see some of the perspective of these other enemies as well. Yes, Minomaru is super dead, But if there was some other survivor of his clan, that could be a cool story to tell as well. It's not so much about the character himself in this situation, as much as the themes of exploring Toga's past. Finally, the character I want to see most is definitely the least important on this list, but she's someone that I've always thought was really cool. Shiyori. Shiyori was a bat Hanyo. We're just gonna go with vampire. That's basically what she was. She had dark skin, purple eyes, white hair, and could create barriers. All of which is pretty fucking cool for character design. Her design really made her stand out in the show, and it made her such an interesting and unique character. She's one of the very few female Hanyos we saw in the original series, so seeing her talk to Setsuna, Towa, and Moroha would be really interesting, especially if she wanted to give some kind of support to Moroha, who was Inuyasha's daughter, since she had been helped by Inuyasha so much in the past. I really think seeing an adult, or at least a late teen Shiyori, because the whole Hanyo aging thing, would be really interesting, and I would love to see it in this series. But yeah, there are my choices for the 5 characters I would love to see return most from Inuyasha into Yashahime, and so help me God if I see a single person mention any of the main cast, we're gonna have words. Be creative, have fun, let me know which side characters you would like to see come back. Most of the main cast probably will come back. There's no fun talking about that. Give me some speculation and some really cool ideas. As always, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more nearly daily content. Thank you to John for suggesting the video, and of course, a big thank you to our patrons, the Dai Yokai Aikeruchu and Miasma, our Yokai Lucifina Akuma, and our Hanyo Jasmine Morales, Michael Greco, Negakitty, Simon Electric, Anthony Hogan, Burnett Thrasher, and Randy Moseyman. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, remember to stay excellent.